Hello and welcome back to F1 2021 Driver Career Mode Season 1. We're driving from McLaren as Damian Power. You see here we're currently sat 5th in the championship, which is odd because I'm sure we were 4th last time, but maybe I'm going mad. Anyway, it's the British Grand Prix today, and to commemorate that, we got given the chance to go out in the 2008 McLaren around Silverstone to just give it the beans for a bit before we go and start practicing in the current day car. So yeah, here we are. Here's a few shots of that. It was very fun. Great car. Very ugly, but it goes fast. So that's the main thing. And of course the sound of that V8. Listen to it. It's brilliant. Very, very fun. So I'll be quiet and let you enjoy these shots of us hooning around Silverstone in the 2008 McLaren car. Wow, that was fun. We got to drive the 2008 and 98 car from McLaren, both championship winners for Lewis Hamilton and Mika Häkkinen. But onwards to practice at Silverstone. It's raining. Not ideal for us. But see what we can do then as we head out onto the track. We're just going to try and get a feel for... We're on medium tyres because the team said go out on the dries. Track looks dry enough to us. See what happens, and well, we'll see what happens. It looks pretty icy to me as we spin around and head the wrong way and get disqualified for it as we try to turn around. We didn't quite do it quick enough. Not ideal then as we get disqualified from the first practice session. And oh my gosh, this car.
Super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. We just hit the wall, mate. Not the greatest start, I would say. A bit of a handful, this car at the moment. As that sausage curb.
Okay, are you all right? Engine off. Engine off.
That sausage curb is not our friend, so we need to keep an eye on that as we completely destroy the car. But anyway, on to qualifying then. We're taking an engine penalty today because we needed a new turbocharger. So we will be starting further back than we expect, I'm sure, as we head into Q1 for a very, very wet lap here. And we've only changed the turbocharger, but something else is wearing, which is not ideal. So let's see what we can do in the wet weather on these intermediate tyres around Silverstone. Should be used to this weather, given that I live in the UK, but it's not my strong weather for driving a Formula 1 car, let's put it that way. Bit of a handful, this thing, at the moment. Have we got some setup issues or what's going on? But it's not great. Jeff telling us how much fuel we've got. Thanks, mate. Not looking too bad. I mean, we're up on our previous time so far, so we take those as we come up to Copse Corner. Obviously not flat in the wet. Big lift there. Pretty clean lap this one, given the circumstances. A little out of shape round there, but we kept it on the track, which is the main thing. We're almost a second up on our previous lap time in this session, so that's looking good as we come towards the tail end of this lap now. See where we qualify. I don't know how much difference it's going to make, because obviously, as I said, we've taken a penalty. We're going to be dropping back at least 5 positions for the new turbocharger, but we'll see as we come round the final bend, not hitting the sausage curb this time for a provisional P4. Ended up P7 then as we move on to the second round of qualifying, and it's dry. Perfect. This is what we want. Looking a little tidier there as we go fastest through sector 2. Whatever we've got that's wearing is wearing quick. You can see the little red icon in the bottom right corner telling us that something is on its way out. So we may be adding to that engine penalty to resolve that, because we really, really don't want to be dropping out of our home Grand Prix due to a failure.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
Nice. Fastest in Q2. It's a strong start, but we are taking penalties. Our control electronics was heavily worn, and that puts us right at the back.
Before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Perez, and Lewis Hamilton. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Thank you, Crofty. So obviously it says there P10, but we've got a 22 place grid penalty, so we'll be starting plumb last.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase, and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Gasly and Sebastian Vettel, Tsunoda, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Nikita Mazepin, Ocon and Power. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Head down to the track we shall.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Thank you, Jeffrey. We are starting at the back of the grid then for our home race. Not what we would have wanted given our results so far, but let's see what we can do from P20. 5 red lights, and we are underway for the British Grand Prix. Starting in last place, not a good start so far, but I'm sure we can claw back some places as we head into the first few turns. Tend to be bunched up as we come through here, all the way up into 14th place. Brilliant. That's what you want. We're now going around the outside of Antonio Giovinazzi, and we get a warning for a collision, but I'm not sure exactly what happened as we go alongside Tsunoda in his Jaguar-powered AlphaTauri down the inside. Get that move done up into P12 as Raikkonen does not give us any space, and why would he? Because we were well far back. But we avoid... Oh! I was about to say we avoided collision there, but we did in fact touch as we come up to Copse Corner. Let's have another look at that start from all the way at the back. Sea of cars head down towards turn 1. You've got Sergio Perez up front, Valtteri Bottas right behind, and Hamilton right behind him. So the Mercedes having a much better time of Silverstone than they did Austria so far. And we are battling our way up the field as quickly as we can. Wonder if we can see what happened with Giovinazzi. I don't see any collision there. Very, very strange. I guess we must have just tapped each other as we come up the inside of Tsunoda. And now we're battling Raikkonen later on in the lap. No DRS yet, of course, because it's the first lap. But we're trying our best to get round. And we do. At least for now. And up next, Sebastian Vettel. As we come around the last couple of turns on the first lap of the British Grand Prix. Sergio Perez up front, of course, setting the benchmark for the fastest lap. But we got a purple Sector 3, which puts us in good stead for what we've got ahead of us. We've really got to hustle to get anywhere close to the front as we make contact again with Sebastian Vettel. We are super aggressive at the moment. Certainly something that needs to be worked on is our racecraft, because that's going to get us in trouble at some point. As we continue on to the second lap. Still chasing after Sebastian. We haven't got DRS yet, of course. If we did, we'd probably be able to make a move here, but we do get a little bit of slipstream effect, and that'll do nicely because it looks like we might go for a move. We look up the inside. We're not quite close enough, though. And we settle down to chase after him again. Oh, no, we don't. We don't. I say we settle down, and then we go for a move, but we didn't make it stick again because, well, let's be honest. It was a little bit ambitious, but you never know. You've got to try.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead, and in the DRS.
And we've got DRS as we move into lap 3, and we're going to send it down the inside of Vettel, move ourselves up into the top 10, and now we're chasing after Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. Oh, a little bit of a moment there as we attempt to get ourselves away from Vettel. As you join me at the end of lap 3, Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso battling each other as we set the fastest lap.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
And bring ourselves up into contention for a possible P8 if we play our cards right. Down the inside of Pierre Gasly, we make contact with Fernando Alonso. That was not ideal. And again, he just slams in front of us. We were obviously to blame for the first one, but that was a bit cheeky. But we got DRS, so we're going to fly past him on the inside. And he's coming back at us as we switch over. Has he got the pace to make it round the outside? It seems like no would be the answer to that question. And now we've got Max Verstappen up in 7th place. Our teammate Norris in 6th. But they are way up the road. As Jeff is letting us know that we can change strategy if we want to, but we're going to stick with what we've got because I don't think these softs can go for that long, if I'm being honest.
Some information on Latifi, they are out of the race.
That's not ideal for the Williams driver, having what looks like an engine failure and out of the race.
Gap to car in front is 5.2 seconds.
Would have been nice to get a safety car there, but of course nothing really happened. So coming towards the end of lap 5, we're going to attempt a pretty big undercut on the rest of the field by coming in a little early and getting onto those medium compound tyres for the rest of the race. Whether it's going to work or not remains to be seen. So here we are then, coming into the pit lane. Quite possibly the longest pit lane ever at Silverstone. It feels like it takes an eternity. As you can see there, I believe that's Hamilton in the pits. Verstappen also in the pits, coming in early. So we're not the only ones thinking that this might be the way to go. So we'll see how it works as we leave the pit lane. And you join me a little later on lap 8 of this Grand Prix. We're all the way down in P15 after our early pit stop. We've got to get ourselves around Nikita Mazepin, getting a little bit in our way. But what can you do? It's obviously not blue flags because we're not lapping. We are simply trying to get back up the field. So hopefully we're not going to lose too much time here behind the Haas as we go for it down the inside. Oh!
laps
That
of fuel remaining.
was filth. And as we throw our hands up, I imagine he was doing the same. Anyway, join us on lap 10 as we come around the final couple of corners. Got ourselves up into P9 now as a lot of the rest of the field have pitted. We're starting to pick up the pace. You can see there that we've got a purple sector 3. So things are looking up for us. Not too much happening in this Grand Prix, I have to be honest.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Although we do get a fastest lap again. Hopefully we can make that stick. We could do with the extra point. We're only in P8 currently as we've got 2 laps remaining. But we are hunting down Leclerc, who for some reason has elected to go onto the hard tyre, which of course is not going to be performing as well as these mediums, especially at this stage. We're only doing shorter races, so the hard isn't really a good tyre at all. I don't understand why they've done that, but maybe they got some damage or something early on and chose to come in. So our target now is to get past Charles Leclerc, maybe have a go at Sainz and Norris. We'll see. We are
The car behind has started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form.
We are in a McLaren Ferrari train at the moment. On the final lap of the race. Can we get round Charles Leclerc? We go for a little look round the outside as we come round the tight bend at the old pit lane, and decent run out of that corner. We could make this work here. The AI aren't super strong round cops, so we might be able to make up some time. Not quite just yet, though. As we come around on the tail of Charles Leclerc. Look at that. We're going to get DRS here too, although he will as well. It's just a case of whether we're going to get a better run or not. On board with Charles Leclerc as we go round the outside on the final lap of the British Grand Prix and put ourselves up into P7. Are we going to go for a move on Sainz as well? We have a little look. Don't think we're quite going to make that stick. But P7 from the back of the grid is a really, really solid result for us as we come across the line and bin it. Absolutely lose it across the line. I think we might have tapped that sausage curb again. Luckily, that was the final lap and we went across the line sideways. We didn't. We just put too much power on too soon and yeah, fortunately for us, the line is very, very close to the exit of that turn. So there you have it. P7 in our home Grand Prix from the back of the grid. Driver of the day for a second time in a row.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
There you go then. Hamilton taking victory in the British Grand Prix. Max Verstappen close behind, keeping it on track, of course, this time. And Sergio Perez. The Red Bulls are very, very strong in this season, I have to say. They're the ones to beat at the moment. But yeah, solid result for us, solid result from McLaren.
Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Some amazing talents out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Power. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula 1, so it was a great effort.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula 1 action soon.
There you have it. Solid P5 for us. Lando gets himself a few more points, keeps himself in P4, but Hamilton, with that win, has knocked us down a place in the championship. And same with the constructors. Mercedes have taken themselves up into third place and pushed us down into fourth. So that fight is still on. Very much still on. We've got 4 rounds to go. And we will see what we can do. So join me next time. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And I will see you next time for more F1 2021 videos. Bye.